Hi everyone! Couple of days ago I went through the whole my collection of coloring books and I realized that for some time I didn't do any watercolor tutorials and that I really missed to color in this book, which is one of my favorites. It's a search for the Lightbulb Burglar, and one of the reasons why I really love it is because it has very cute artist style. It's a steampunk book and it tells us a story about a very precious invention, light bulbs, about collector who have a huge collection of precious light bulbs, but one of the best light bulbs was stolen. So he hired a company of three detectives and they started to search for the burglar. Some people can say that pictures are quite similar to one another because all they have the same characters, but in my opinion the artist designed them really well because we have uh, different compositions of objects, like we have portraits, we have landscapes, we have interesting collages. So for me it's quite a creative and challenging book. Also, I'm totally in love with the quality of the paper. Paper is really similar to the watercolor one, so my favorite medium here is watercolors plus adding details with colored pencils. Here I'm working mostly with my white nights watercolors and I added also some Ukrainian watercolor paints. My brush is a mop brush from Jackson's Art. All links will be in the info box. In the window we can see a nice scene when the detective started his search and I wanted it to be really dark, only with splashes of color on the tops of buildings, on the sky and also around the car. So I used deep indigo and Payne's gray to create dark night colors, and I also used quinacridone gold plus quinacridone magenta for the sky and burnt ochre for the top of the houses. I used a lot of water because this brush it holds a lot of water and I allowed my paint and water to run freely on this paper and to create interesting stains. As I said, it's a nice scene, so I wanted a little bit of mystical atmosphere with dark colors and floating steam, so nothing very detailed, only to play with colors. For some other pictures, stain which I got here on the building and on the sky could totally ruin the picture, but here I did them deliberately. I love this effect. Also, when I tried to get my deep indigo from the palette, I missed and by the error I took a violet and I put it around the detective's car. But then I decided to use my mistake and in this way, with this violet color, I attracted attention to the one of the main characters on this picture. Also, I love that when I first do watercolor background and then use pencils, they laid down really well and even with such pencils as different color salts, which sometimes are not very good for layering. Here on this paper and on the watercolor underpaint they can be layered in many and many layers and they behave amazingly. When I did a watercolor background, watercolor underpaint, and then when I color main characters with colored pencils, In my opinion, it helps me to divide the background and the foreground due to the difference of textures. So as I said, I used here a lot of water and I loaded my brush with water and paint, and then I just let it run freely on this page. I know that even if I am not satisfied with some areas, it will be easy corrected, first because it's on this beautiful paper you can easily remove with clear brush excessive paint or paint which you put by error, or you can cover it with colored pencils. Also, I love this book because pictures are relatively small and it takes not so long time to finish a page. But there is a strange thing. Maybe I am a little bit crazy, but when I color a book when we have a throughout story and like story is developing through pictures, I always want to color it in order, like I do with my Daria song Night Voyage coloring book. So here I am suffering that I hadn't started it in order. I colored couple of pictures from the first part of the book, but still I missed couple of pictures in the beginning, so now I think maybe I still have to color it in order. I don't know, let me know in the comments, do you have the similar problem? Do you want to color your books in order if they have a story, not just random pictures? Let me tell you once more which colors I used for the background. So sky is quinacridone gold plus quinacridone lilac. Houses are yellow plus indigo or burnt ochre plus indigo. A little bit of diluted with water violet around the car and indigo. Then I added a little bit of yellow to the pavement. Maybe there are some light reflexes from the window. For the window shell I put it burnt umber and maybe burnt sienna. For the wallpaper I used Bordeaux or claret. For the butler's clothes I mostly use Payne's grey, and for the Lord Collector's clothes I used olive green, yellow green and earth green. Of course later I will also use a white gouache to erase black lines on the sky and on the steam behind the car. I hope that you also missed coloring in this book and that you will be watching the second part. Also, I decided to finish a page which I started in November and where I already did a background. So there will be also a color along for the picture with the airship. I thank you for watching and see you in the second part.